Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! A little backstory: my family is a bunch of nerds. Whenever we head out of the house and there is a nearby library or bookstore, we usually go inside and check out books and art stuff. But we were well-rounded nerds because not only did we like books, we were pretty athletic. My maternal grandfather was in the military, my father was a varsity volleyball player, and my mom loved playing basketball. So to keep in touch with the athletic side, my parents enrolled my sister and I to a karate class, despite both of us being overweight for our ages. This bit is important later on, so keep this in mind. So when I was around 5 years old, this was like 12 years ago, so my memory is kinda blurry. My family and I went out to have some dinner. My younger sister and I pointed to a bookstore and asked if we could go in, and they allowed us. My parents let my sister and I run off towards the kid book sections. You know, Geronimo Stilton and alike, which was on the other side of the floor we were in. So we were doing our own thing, reading, gathering a small stack of books and stuff, when this big 10-year-old boy came up to us. My sister was very shy and very paranoid of strangers. She didn't speak and just had this worried look on her face. But I, on the other hand, liked making friends. So I thought that he wanted to do such. I said hi and stuff, you know, little girl things. And then, I don't exactly remember, he started making fun of us. It wasn't like annoying kind of taunting yet, just saying that we were nerds and stuff about enjoying reading. I don't know why he did this, he's probably insecure or an entitled jerk, but whatever. I was a pretty sensitive kid, so I didn't take that too kindly. I told him the benefits of reading: makes you smart, expands your grammar, though then I think I worded it as it teaches you new words, and how my sister and I are not nerds. But he just kept going and eventually getting more annoying and more offensive as he went. Then he started commenting on my weight and calling me ugly, and that's when I broke down. I started tearing up, calling him out for his bullying. I specifically remember telling him, "You're the ugly one. You're ugly on the inside and will show on the outside. The only beautiful person has a heart of gold." Yeah, very deep for a 5-year-old. Honestly, I was just parroting what my mom and preschool teachers taught me. Anyways, he just continued to laugh and point at me, and when I had enough, I ran away crying. Mind you, my sister witnessed the whole thing, but was too afraid to say anything. Yet, this is a payback part. Now, my mom taught my sister and me that there were only two of us, telling us that we only have one sibling and that if we lose one another, we can never get her back. This caused my sister and me to have a strong bond. So when she saw me running away and crying, she saw red. I, for some reason, didn't run to my parents but hid in a corner near the area I left my sister and the bully in. I could see that area but couldn't hear anything. The bully moved on from me and moved on to my little sister. My sister's face was red and she was crying too. I felt so bad when I remembered what my mom said, so I stood up to defend her when the best thing happened. She yelled something out. I don't remember what she said, but according to my dad, who was on his way to stop the whole thing, when he went over to check on us, she had said, "I know karate." It was that. She kicked him where it hurts and punched him hard in the face, while the big bully doubled over on the floor. What makes this better is that he started to cry and he ran away, sobbing and red-faced, yelling, "I'm gonna tell on you to my mommy." My sister did not care, she was just seething. Just imagine a little 4-year-old girl hitting a boy who was twice her age and size and making him cry. I was shocked throughout the whole thing. I don't remember what happened after because my mom left my sister and me with my grandparents at the entrance of the bookstore, but apparently, the parents of the bully were embarrassed and apologized for their son's behavior. Moral of the lesson: don't mess with my sister. And don't mess with quiet nerds. I have watched videos and heard the stories on YouTube about Karens, and They usually make me giggle and put a smile on my face, but from time to time I usually have to put up with a Karen every now and then with my work, and nothing ever worth talking about or posting. I'm sorry if this gets long-winded, but this one needs to be posted. I'll try to keep it short. The cast: me, one of my bestie's child, crazy Karen, Walmart manager, deputy sheriffs 1 and 2. Being the year of the pandemic, and when things were sort of getting back to normal at the beginning of the summer with retail stores, and just to let everyone know, I'm a female, 36, and in really great shape, and a cyclist. I went mountain biking with some friends on a wonderful late afternoon. Good workout also. Started to head home and stopped at a Walmart to pick up a few things to make dinner for my daughter and me. Then I happened to see one of my besties and her kid. We greeted, and I have always been like an aunt to her child. He was turning 4 years old and she was buying him a bicycle for his birthday. This is right up my alley, and I said, great, let Auntie Kay help you out with it. Both were happy with it. We found a good 16-inch wheel starter bike. Looked at helmets, and I even fitted the helmet to him. My bestie and I were chatting a bit. Her child was looking at other toys, and this is where I got the ahem. I turned, I saw the Karen in all her glory, and yes, every bit of the Karen looked with her child. I'm sorry if I'm in your way off the shelves. Then, in not so nice of a tone, Crazy Karen says, now that you're done with her, you can help me with my child and bike for him. Sorry ma'am, I don't work here and I was just helping my friend with her son. Yes you do, you're wearing cycling clothes. I just got finished with a ride about an hour ago, and I'm here to pick things up. I just happened to see my friend and was just helping her. I'm sure one of the employees will be glad to help you, and I really do work here. My friend says, she doesn't work here, lady. You need to stay out of this and shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Oh my god, let's go and get away from this crazy lady. What? How dare you call me that? I will have you fired. I was trying to stay calm and I repeated, I don't work here. My friends always say that I am really scary when I'm mad. Being a tall woman 5'10" and fit, I am not a small woman. We tried to walk away and Karen grabbed my arm. I pull out of her grip and tell her, if you touch me again, I'll have you arrested. I try to walk away again and she grabs my cycling jersey. You're going to help me and I'm going to report you to your manager also. Let go of my jersey, you wing nut. Then a Walmart manager comes around the corner and Karen screams at him. You need to fire your employee for not helping me. Ma'am, she doesn't work here, and you need to let her go before I have you escorted out of the door. How dare you treat paying customers this way? I pull my jersey from her grip and she tries to slap me. I grabbed her wrist in mid-flight and said, You have now done it, lady, and twisted her arm behind her. Karen is now yelling assault and screaming about how bad I am hurting her arm as I pull up behind her back. I do have a lot of fighting training, judo and some MMA. My friend is recording it all on her phone and trying to get her kid calm at the same time. I say to the manager, call the sheriff department right now. I am having her arrested. Let me go. I will sue you all. You're all going to jail. I don't think so. I wrenched her arm up harder, her kid crying, and escorted her up to the front of the store as we waited for someone from the sheriff's department. 2 deputy sheriffs walk in and I knew them both from having to use the sheriff's department a lot in my line of work. I let go and she screams, Arrest her now for assaulting me. The deputy sheriff says, Ma'am, you need to calm down right now. No, she assaulted me. Me, my friend, and the manager just stood there and waited for the deputy sheriff to handle everything and answer anything that was asked of us. Okay, what's going on here? The sheriff asks. You know this witch. Arrest her. You need to be quiet or I'm going to arrest you. I was feeling really bad for her child. She was crying as another Walmart employee tried to keep him calm. Karen kept screaming and then they handcuffed her as I, the manager, and my friend talked to Deputy Sheriff number 2 about what happened. I didn't want to press charges because I didn't want to spend time in court with it all. I spent enough time in court with my line of work. She was banned from that Walmart. The manager apologized for everything and gave my friend and me $50 gift cards. I handed mine to my friend, which paid for the bike and helmet. I never got my items to make dinner as I called my daughter and told her that we were ordering out. I thought that would be the end of this and would never see that woman again. I was wrong. Add to the guest, the office manager. 2 weeks go by and I'm in my office at work and I told everyone in the office about what happened at this Walmart. By the way, I own a home rental business, family owned, and I spent my whole life in this business and took over when my parents retired. Nice sized business with 40 plus employee from office to maintenance. This one fine day, one of my office employees came back to the office with this couple. I was in my office with the door shut, but my employee introduced them to my office manager / CEO, and they were going to file and sign final paperwork on a home rental. My CEO buzzed me and I asked if I could come out to meet the new renters and introduce myself to them. As I walked up front, the look of shock hit my face and couldn't believe it. It was crazy Karen. She sees me. "You! Don't tell me you work here." "Yes, I do work here," I said calmly. "Who's your manager? I'm going to have you fired." I see her husband, this poor guy. He was now turning red from embarrassment and then saying and pointing to my office manager, "She's a manager. Talk to her." Karen yells at my office manager, "You should fire this worthless witch." The office manager says, "I can't fire her. Only the owner of the company can fire her." "I want to speak to the owner." The office manager points at me and says, "She's the owner." "Yes, you are in my place of business. I'm not going to rent a house to you and I'm asking you to leave right now. Never to come back before I call the sheriff department on you." She leaves in a big hurry with her poor soul of a husband in tow. My sales employee was laughing about it and then was joking. "I guess I don't get my rental bonus on my next check." I laughed and said, "I will pay you the bonus after having to deal with her." And he was happy about that. Firstly, I am not sure if this belongs here or not, but I had to share. For some background, I had worked as a CSR, customer service representative, for almost 20 at various companies and had always taken my job seriously and made sure that I had taken care of every customer with politeness. It was in the policies of the company I was working for. I am now disabled with severe mental health issues and I'm also a coupon nut. I'm on a very tight budget and the discount they provide is very helpful. Mostly I buy bulk amounts of food, cleaning supplies, and paper products because it reduces the number of times I have to go to the store. Any heavy items I have to get, however, are delivered to my home. The best I ever did in coupon savings is when I got about $250 in groceries and so on for $125 or so. On this particular occasion, I had gotten my coupons from a website. This happened a while ago, so this is not going to be precise, but to the best of my memory, which is pretty good. So at the time when this happened, I didn't have a car. And buses were also hard for me because of anxiety. Uber and Lyft were just too expensive. My friend had given me a ride for a blood test and I asked if she would be cool with stopping at Fry's afterward because I needed a few things. And she agreed, telling me that we have to pick up her daughter, so it has to be fast. No problem. I got my coupons together and she came and picked me up after work. With the blood test done, amazingly, I didn't faint. I hate needles. We went to Fry's. We rushed through the store grabbing what we needed, since she needed stuff too, and went to the checkout. And this is when the nightmare began. Everything was scanned and bagged up, so I handed over my coupons. There are two ways they scan. I think most stores do this now. The table scanner and the hand scanner. He swiped the first coupon and nothing. I was confused. This shouldn't be happening, and I guess the look on my face was enough for this guy to start being a jerk. "If I can't scan them, then I'm sorry, I can't take them," the customer service representative said in a firm tone. That is so weird. I've been using them at many different Fry's over the years and I've never had an issue. "Well, they aren't working and you need to pay and go. You're holding up the line. Can you please try the hand scanner?" Well, if they are not scanning that way, then it won't scan with a hand one. If you're going to be this rude, you're going to be asked to leave the store. My friend and I at this point look at each other very confused. I kept a light tone of voice and I don't see how I was rude. Well, he looks at me waiting for me to move. And this is where I can fully admit I turned into a Karen. But only a little bit. I could have been oh so much worse. You have got to be kidding me. I think I need to speak to your manager because you're just being totally rude and unprofessional. My friend is absolutely confused and shocked because I'm a very easygoing person and honestly don't have a mean bone in my body. I was taught growing up about how you get more with honey rather than vinegar. We waited patiently and I had a stern look on my face as we waited, and I could see that some of the people were waiting to see what happens next. The manager got there pretty quickly and her body language was relaxed and I knew she was going to be diplomatic. What happened next was simply unbelievable. I have tried every coupon she handed me and they won't scan. I was insistent that they should. Wow, and you easily lied to your manager? You didn't scan all of them. You just scanned 3 of them. What kind of person are you? And my friend has a most shocked look on her face and other people are still wrapped up in the situation. I'm pretty sure that they were waiting for me to throw a punch or slap him. But that guy wasn't worth the assault charge though. The manager, trying to get control over the situation, asked, "Why don't you go ahead and take a break, and I will take care of the line." He grunted and walked away, cursing under his breath. She's right, he didn't. When she asked to try the hand scanner, he refused. My friend told the manager, "Oh, I will try it myself now." She grabbed the hand scanner and beep, the coupon was accepted. Really? I'm sorry, I'm angry. I have worked in customer service at several different companies and I know sometimes it really sucks, but his attitude was horrible. He seems like a very angry old man. I guessed him to be in his 60s or 70s. His attitude was inexcusable. I am so sorry this happened and he should not have done that. You're right. He will be counseled about this. By this time, I had calmed down and smiled at her. The only reason I was angry is because of how rude he was. I had never been treated like that. After that, I slid my card after my total was up and I thought I was done. Or so I thought. My friend checked out and we went to the car. We loaded up the car and I was about to take the basket back to the front of the store, but my friend said she would do it since the man was in front smoking. When she came back, she was shaking her hand and said, "You know, that guy was hanging around his co-workers complaining about you and calling you names." That got me all sorts of angry again, but I took some breath and calmed myself since really there is nothing I can do about it at this point. I did call a corporate office to let them know what happened to add the fact that he referred to me with a certain cuss word. Side note. My friend did tell me how shocked she was because she had never seen me angry before and she hoped I would never turn that fury on her. I assured her I wouldn't unless it was something that really ticked me off. Later that night we laughed hard about it and she called me the Great Fury for quite a while after that. So I'm back again with another story about my entitled ex-flatmate. I'm now a 29-year-old woman who works as a lightning technician in Norway. At the time I lived with this girl 6 years older than me and I only had a 50% steady job. The rest was on and off and seasonal. Welcome to the hard lifestyle of a TV, theater and event technician. My last post was the last straw for me, since she had done this before, but that time I came home from work in time to stop the fire department from coming. I already answered some comments about leasing with her for 3 years. I know, it's a long time. This was after we had already lived together as good friends for 3 years in another apartment. The only thing that changed was the fact that she got a new job, and suddenly became too important to talk to people like me, commoners, as she now could talk to actors, filmmakers, and producers. She once told me that I was not allowed to go to a party for TV and theater workers because she might go. I can't with her, but that's another story. As said, we had a 3-year lease. It could be broken with a 3 months notice, but we were both on a lease and she didn't want to. She had almost the entire flat to herself. I stayed in my room, yet paid half of everything. She had the living room almost all to herself. She often chose to sleep there instead of her own room. When we got close to the end of our lease, I tried to do the adult thing. I sat her down to talk to her about my plans of moving out. It went something like this. I've been thinking about what to do once our lease is up, and I'm personally ready to buy my own place. My bank has approved my loan application. Oh my god, cool! Let's start looking at apartments. I will not live in an old one. It needs to be new and… She went on. I was shocked. She thought I would buy it for us. Or was her. I'm looking for an apartment for me. Oh my god, are you serious? You won't buy with me? What am I supposed to do then? You know what? It's fine. I make so much more money than you, so you will only be able to buy old crap. Mine will be so much better because I have standards. Good for you. I got up and walked away. She was fuming, since I didn't give her the answer or fight that she wanted. A month later, I have bought my first apartment. It's small and from the 50s, but it's mine. The payments go to building my own future, instead of throwing money at a landlord. She happened to see some pictures of my apartment after I had bought it. She came to me and told me how ugly and old it was, that she was going to live so much better than me. Well, that's your choice. I hear you're going to spend $1,500 a month to rent a high-fashion apartment. That's literally throwing money out of the window. Seeing you want to buy your own as soon as possible. My apartment might be small and old, but my total a month is $1,000 with everything included, and most of it goes into my property, which will only increase in value. Has already gone up $50K in 1.5 years. It's a first-time apartment. Once I'm good and ready, I can sell it and buy a new one. It's the smartest way of saving, in my opinion. Her face was priceless. She looked shocked, then mad. I'm going to live better than you. I couldn't help myself. I looked at her with a poker face and said the words that angered her more than anything else. Good for you. And I walked away, while her head looked like it was about to blow off. She is still renting that place, telling me about it in messages that I do not reply to. I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant and I work as a water filtration operator. Every 4 weeks, me and the other operators rotate onto the maintenance shifts where we work under this particular supervisor. We will call him Randy. Randy likes to think he has more control than he does have. And honestly, the plant supervisor just lets him think that. About a month or so ago, I was working with him and he told me to pick up a 45-pound empty nitrogen cylinder. I politely reminded him that I was pregnant and shouldn't be doing that, to which he responded since I didn't have light-duty paperwork, it shouldn't be a problem. I sucked it up and lifted the cylinder and carried it to the destination. I received a pulled muscle in the process. The next day, I informed the plant supervisor and a work injury report was filed. When my statement was taken, the verbiage I used that was corroborated with another co-worker that was present caused Randy to get in trouble because he knew I was pregnant and essentially caused the injury to happen. When my statement was taken, the verbiage I used that was corroborated with another co-worker that was present caused Randy to get in trouble because he knew I was pregnant and essentially caused the injury to happen. They took me to a nurse to make sure that my baby was fine and that I was okay and was not experiencing any complications from the injury. I wasn't in pain if I moved too much. They sent me back on my way, and the plant supervisor put me on desk duty for the day. Randy was livid, of course, because he lost some of his manpower on the maintenance team. He made a fuss about me not having light-duty paperwork, saying that if I didn't have it, then I should be capable of doing the work that is needed around the plant. I was capable, I just used common sense. Prior to this incident, I did my job to the fullest within the limitation of my body, which wasn't that much. I rested when I needed to, didn't lift more than my body would allow, and most importantly, I was the only female out of 7 employees, so My other coworkers were more than willing to help me if I asked, which wasn't that often. So the plant supervisor called me into his office and requested that I go get my light duty papers from the doctor ASAP. That's the only way he could protect me from getting further hurt at work. I told him I understood and made the call to the doctor's office and picked it up that afternoon. I got the paperwork that was supposed to keep Brandy quiet and it restricted me as such. No stopping more than 2 times an hour. No climbing ladders or poles at all. No climbing more than 3 flights of stairs a shift. No lifting more than 25 pounds. No standing more than 30 minutes out of each hour. And limited contact with chemicals. These orders, of course, make it very difficult for me to do my job fully, as it basically limits me to either desk work or general cleaning. Now, I know this list is nonsense because I can definitely stoop more than 2 times in an hour. I may be out of breath coming back up, but I can do it. And climbing more than 3 flights of stairs is ridiculous because that means I can't do all of my rounds. Someone else has to do the last set for me because you climb a set of stairs every time. Under normal circumstances, I will be more than happy to bend the rules here to make everyone's lives easier. But honestly, since he's the one who complained and moaned for me to get this paperwork, I plan to make full use of it. So far, since I've received this paperwork, I keep a checklist of all the things I can do and fill it like a bingo card. If I fill all the things, to the office I go because that means I can't do any more physical work on shift. And he has a bad habit of tossing a lot of work my way in the beginning of my shifts. Having worked during college at the local movie theater, I came across all kinds of Karens. In this particular case, Karen went to the movies with her 2 kids around the ages of 4 to 5. As you guys know, movie theaters have high prices for snacks and drinks. It was a Sunday morning and usually this is a busy time with a lot of small children and kids movies. It's obvious that I'm dealing with a total Karen straight from the start. Keeping on her sunglasses, chewing gum, and being on her phone the entire time she's waiting in line. When it's her turn, I think to myself, your shift just started, just be nice. And maybe this will all go over smoothly. It didn't. Karen is annoyed by the prices of the tickets. You can buy the tickets and your snacks at the same register, and is not happy with the assortment of healthy snacks. I'm still there, trying to keep up my best smile like I'm the freaking Joker in a low-budget Batman movie, but I'm getting through her order. Now for the little children, as they were acting like dogs running around the place, I will name them like dogs so. Child 1 is Ollie and Child 2 is Rex. P.S. Where I'm from, we have a display where you can scoop your own candy in a bag for a fixed price per 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. Being in a movie theater, this is crazy expensive and a full bag can cost around 16 euros. Ollie says, "Mommy, can we scoop some candy?" Karen asks, "How much for the candy?" "It's 1.5 euros per 100 grams. "Yes, Ollie, hurry up with the candy." Then Rex adds, "Mom, I want some candy too." "Ollie, help your brother get his candy." At this point, she already spent way too much time in line. Normally, you scoop the candy before you make your purchase to prevent that the transaction takes an extremely long time, but we can help other customers. Not for Miss Karen though. She just goes back to texting on her phone. I'm baffled, annoyed, and just want to go help other customers because the movie is starting in 15 minutes and the lines for the registers are not moving at all. So me, the good Samaritan that I am, tried to eyeball the bag of candy Ollie has so that I can get a rough estimate how much the candy will cost. And to my enjoyment, I see the kid with an enormous bag of candy almost the size of his head. So I estimate that it will be around 15 euros. As for Rex, his bag isn't that full, but he's still scooping, and I think to myself, realistically, the price will be higher, but I just want this to be over, and I don't want to overprice them. I say, the total will be 44 euros. What? Why is it so expensive?
"Miss, the candy weighs a lot and the price is—" "But you didn't even weigh it. You're just trying to rip me off. Weigh it and give me the correct price," she says as she grabs the bags from Ollie and Rex. Well, she was right. I did not weigh it, but I wasn't trying to rip her off. Heck, I was giving her a huge discount. So I smile at her and grab the bags of candy and put them on a scale. I can see the price and so can the customer. "Sure, miss. As you can see, the price of the candy cost 24 euros. So your total will be 53 euros. Of course, Karen gets angry and wants me to call the manager because I'm still ripping her off. The manager comes along, weighs the candy and confirms that the correct price is 53 euros. Because you have to pay the candy when you grab it because of hygiene rules and there is a big freaking sign. Karen eventually buys everything and walks away angry with her kids. Luckily for me, the manager was a nice dude, so I didn't get into trouble for guessing the weight. And at the end of the shift, I was glad I could ruin a movie experience for Karen, to be completely honest.